Okay, today we are going to share with you a build that I literally don't recommend, but this is the hottest seller on eBay right now. It basically comes down to price, which is why it's a hot seller. It's an i7 8700K. We're putting this on an H310 motherboard. That's the first failure right there. But this is what sells. On eBay, people don't look so much at specs, they look at price. So they want something that's going to give them an i7 8700K and a GTX 1080 Ti at the price they want to pay for it at. So this is what happens. So we're going to put an i7 8700K on an H310 motherboard. 16 gigabytes of Gale Evo DDR4 2400 RAM, 120 gigabyte solid state drive, 1 terabyte hard drive, GeForce GTX 1080 Ti, the MSI Gaming X graphics card, 650 watt 80 plus power supply, and it's going into an S340 case. So let's put this monster together. While I'm putting this together, I already know what you're going to ask me. So Q, if you're quoting how not good a build this is, why are you building it? It's simple. We sell about 20 of these a week on eBay alone. Like I said, eBay is not so much for guys who really know about what they want in a computer. This is more or less they know an i7 GTX 1080 Ti is the best computer to have, but I have X number of dollars, so this works. Will it perform? Yes, it'll play all the games at ultra settings and then some. Here's the problem. You're buying a K processor. We have another build with the 8086 on a B360 board. When you buy these processors and these low-end boards, you're choking the performance of the processor itself. These processors can be unlocked and overclocked with the proper cooling system on the right boards. You want to go with a Z370 board with K-series 8th generation processors, not H310s, HB360s, B360s, H370 boards. With this, they went with a standard cooler, which is capable enough since this is not being overclocked. It's a fairly decent sized heat sink for the CPU. And then we got the 16 gigs of RAM installed as well. On here, there's basically 2 PCI mini slots and 1 standard PCI Express. 2 fan outputs. The case we're putting it in, though, has its own fan controller, so we're going to leave it at that. Well, let's yank out the case and stick it in there. Okay, I got the case stripped down to go to work on. This is the NZXT S340, the black and blue one that we're going to use. About to install everything into it, such as the motherboard. What else we got? Power supply, solid state drives, hard drives, and all that good stuff. The power supply that we're putting in here is a power spec 650 watt 80 plus bronze rated power supply. We just started using these in the past year. These are great power supplies. I put these up against most of the bigger brands as far as quality and performance. I wouldn't use these for i9 builds, Threadripper builds to an extent for like the big super builds that we do. But for something like this, something for the average build up to 750 watts required power, the power spec ones are great. So with that said, we're going to slide that into the case and move on to the other components. Okay, we got a solid state drive and hard drive in. For entry level and budget builds, we use Inland Professional Series solid state drives. This is a 120 gigabyte solid state drive that's going into this build. Also, Toshiba 1 terabyte 7200 RPM hard drive is installed underneath out of sight. Got that in. Let's get the motherboard in. Okay, we got the motherboard installed into the case. Now we're going to wire it up, hit all the connections up, and clean up the wires for this. As you can see, as we handle the cable management, even with the entry level and budget builds, we give great attention to detail to the cable management part of this, so it's nice and clean, not a rat's nest or pile of spaghetti behind your case. Last thing to do is to install the graphics card and install Windows. All right, we've finished assembling this build. We're going to go ahead and install Windows and set everything up on it, including installing all drivers and updates that are necessary. Then we'll run a few tests on it. So we'll be right back. Okay, so Windows is installed and all the drivers have been updated, and I went ahead and ran Passmark to see where we're at, and we got a score of 6057.2, puts it in the 98th percentile. As you can see, the mark scores for each category. Even with this motherboard, the CPU got a high mark, 15,006, and the graphics got a 16,004. It's good. And as you can see, like I said, it's in the 98th percentile as far as ranking. Do I still think the i7 is being choked by the motherboard? Yes, I do. Would I recommend this on my site? No. On eBay, like I said, it's a perfect sale because this build itself runs about $1,550, which is pretty good nowadays. Even with the price of the GPUs coming down, most places are still selling them for close to $2,000. So you do have a i7 8700K with a GTX 1080 Ti that will hit the numbers and play the games at the performance you want, even into 4K. Of course, me being a gamer and most of you knowing how the game works in this industry, the Z370s are the best motherboards to go with. But I thank you for watching. Check this out. I'm going to do a whole series on a bunch of the different eBay specials we have. You'll see the link for this eBay listing down below as well. Thanks, and stay tuned for the next video.